Welcome, everybody, to the Service and Sacrifice this week here on WTEN Plus. I'm Ryan Peterson. With me, as always, Emil Baker, Dom Dominguez. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning. We're back.
Seems like we haven't been here in a while. Actually, it's been a couple weeks since we recorded an episode here, so it's nice to see you both.
Good to see you.
In the middle of a heat wave at the moment.
Loving this heat wave.
Do you like the? You know, my father is a really hot weather guy, but he's a former ship's captain. He spent 6 months out of the year down around the equator, so.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I mean, we just went through like monsoon season. I feel
Yeah,
like.
we had a wet spring.
It was like winter blizzards. So I'll take in the heat all day. I'll never complain about it. I love it. So
I have 3 air conditioning units in my house, and I say I have ultimate backup if there's an emergency. But I pity the people that don't have any right now.
It's rough.
yeah. It is.
No, it is for a lot of, and there are a lot of people that don't. But there's a lot of places to stay cool. And if you watch News 10 ABC and you get on our website, we show you all the places you can go to get cool. And you can even just take a trip to the mall, walk around a little bit, right? Get inside and cool off. I ask this every week now this time of year. Emma, have you gotten an invitation out on the boat yet?
I have not. I think there's some major concerns here. Either he wants to selfishly be the only captain of it, or he doesn't want to be shown up by my skills.
I'm actually heading out on the boat after this. I have my friend, her son joined the Navy a few months ago, or at this point maybe a year ago. He's a CB, so he's back. He's going to be heading out for his first deployment. So I told him after the show I'd take him out in Lake Sakaganga, so I'll be doing that. So he took precedence.
I can go with you today.
No, we're good. I am more
Just
than
stay
fine.
hydrated. Awfully hot out there. This week we're joined by a man, and we've actually tried to get in here a couple times.
Yeah.
Very busy dude.
Yes.
Scott Lamb, the director of Saratoga National Cemetery. Looking forward to our conversation. Beautiful grounds up there. I'm embarrassed to say all the time I've lived here now, I just made it up there for the first time this past winter for the Wreaths Across America ceremony with my daughter, my eldest daughter, Olivia, part of her National Honor Society trip with her class from Mechanicville Junior Senior High School. And I still haven't been there when it's green out, so I've only seen it with snow on the ground, but so impressive.
Yeah, no, and Scott, he's also just as impressive as that cemetery. He's a veteran, and he has done tremendous changes to that cemetery. I used to do funerals. I was in the military funeral honors program in the military. So, I think I did 1,700 funerals during my time. And I got to tour all the different cemeteries. I got to work in all the different cemeteries in New York State. And Saratoga really stands out. So I'm really excited for this episode to publish to our vets because let's face it, death is a part of life, and it's morbid. We don't like to talk about it. And when you're a veteran, there's a lot of eligibilities that come with, getting buried at Saratoga National Cemetery. So it's important for our veterans to know those things.
And it's important for anybody to plan for end of life, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's an expensive process for folks, but if you have served and you get the application process going right, National Cemeteries, as we will hear from Scott, it doesn't cost you a penny.
It's one of the benefits that are always things you have to research. I didn't know 20 years ago. I did a prearrangement myself, didn't know about what was going on here. I could have gotten a free
We could have been
burial.
neighbors.
We could have. We could have. Or co-pilots on a boat. But it's so important that this happens because as veterans get older, their spouses and their family gets older, and they put a burden on the spouses to do this for them when prearranging it is no real work for them. And it's something that they get to choose, and it's something that's done and put in place, and that's especially important when everybody's older.
And it goes without saying that the history around here that we also get in with Scott when we talk to him as well. But it's such an impressive area. The history wrote itself. What happened here during the Revolutionary time, and to be able to have a national cemetery located here on those hallowed grounds, it's really something special.
Yeah, it really is. The honor, the respect.
Yeah, for sure.
Hallowed grounds, really. So
I've been to some events up there, and it's very emotional. Everybody welcomes and likes it.
Well, and you were saying, I think down earlier, you were saying you actually will get up there occasionally and jog through
Yeah,
the cemetery?
my wife and I will
through there?
jog. Her father's buried there. I have a few friends buried there. So it's so pretty and peaceful. We'll go jog. We'll go visit, Dad and all that stuff. And it's nice. But yeah, I mean, I like seeing like the foxes. They'll come out in the spring. You'll see the foxes come out in the spring. You'll see American eagles land there. It's just so pretty. I mean, how could you not? I plan on being buried there with my wife, so we'll definitely be there.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to take care of, and we're going to talk about it all with Mr. Scott Lamb when we come back here on Service and Sacrifice. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back to Service and Sacrifice here on WTEN Plus. We are joined now by our special guest this week, Mr. Scott Lamb, the director of Saratoga National Cemetery. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming in, making some time for us. Absolutely. We certainly appreciate it. Know you're a busy man. Lots happen up there, especially this time of year, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So let's get started, Scott. Let's kind of introduce you to the viewers. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You are a veteran.
Correct.
Thank you for your service. So tell us a little bit about the branch you served in, where you served, and kind of how you came to the role you're in now with the cemetery.
Absolutely. So I joined the Navy right out of high school. Served for 8 years. I was a Navy Seabee where I was a carpenter, construction. Got out, met my wife, who's also a veteran, got out, decided to find some work and started as a cemetery laborer. On a national cemetery out in Illinois. Kind of worked my way up through the ranks of laborer, caretaker, maintenance worker, foreman, became a cemetery director, and then moved back to my home state of New York, and that's where I currently serve at the Saratoga National Cemetery.
Wonderful. So for those who aren't familiar with what a national cemetery actually, what does that designation mean?
All right, so there's 148 national cemeteries across the United States. Those 148 are operated and function under the Department of Veterans Affairs. Very similar to Arlington, except Arlington's run by the Department of the Army. And most folks don't know that we have a national cemetery right here in our backyard. So it's a privilege and honor to work there.
And you have to, if you desire and you serve, and it's open only to veterans, correct? People who have served, right?
Veterans and their eligible spouses, correct.
Is there an application process for it?
There is. There's a pre-need application you can fill out. You can go online for that. It's www.va.cem. You can go on there. You can find that. Or there's other ways to find it. And that's a great way to get your discharge papers up, reviewed for eligibility. Let's face it, time of need. Someone passes away, it's a difficult time, and if you can have your paperwork kind of prearranged, it's very helpful. So I encourage veterans to do that.
What do you think, aside from the actual application process itself and getting that going, what do people do not know about the National Cemetery System? Is there anything you hear from people regularly other than, geez, I didn't know this was here?
Yeah, it's a great question. So they think there's a cost, right? So big thing to talk about there. What I tell folks when I meet them is when you come to the cemetery gates, there's no cost to the veteran or their spouse or their family member that's eligible. I think that's huge, right? You are going to have the funeral home cost. It's involved with a funeral, but through the gates of the cemetery, absolutely free, meaning the opening, closing gravesite, the perpetual care, the placing and ordering of a headstone or a marker, all completely free to the veteran.
It's wonderful to hear, and I'm talking to Emil and Dom now, that the country has something like this for our veterans. It's such, I would think, when Scott talks about cost, what a comfort and relief that must be for service members' families.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a huge cost saving. And again, another benefit for our veterans that they may not know of. I know for me personally, I keep all my DD-214s in a manila folder in my lockbox. So, and I tell my wife about this all the time. I mean, my wife and I, we visit the National Cemetery quite often. Her father's buried there. I have a few friends buried there. We also like to run the grounds because it's so peaceful. It's so beautiful, meticulous, precise. I mean, it's gorgeous. But there's a lot that we don't know that benefits us. And Scott and his team has really done a really good job with maintaining that cemetery with such respect and honor. And it's really beautiful. But this goes to show that we have tremendous amounts of benefits, and what we don't know, so we need to use what we don't know.
It's completely confusing with older vets to find the benefits and to find a way to understand them and how to relate to that and how to make them happen. But you think about an older veteran who hasn't prearranged for himself. He's putting that burden on a spouse that's his age, and hopefully it's going to take a few years before he needs it, but making it go into somebody's last minute rush to get this done is not fair. And hopefully those veterans will take that step to make it happen now, the pre-planning and the arranging.
The great thing is a lot of funeral directors already know about the process with Saratoga National Cemetery, so it's you have to know something, but you really don't have to know much. I mean, I would say, I don't know, Scott, what would you recommend every vet talk to their families about this and ensure that they save their DD-214? Is that something that they could premeditate?
Absolutely. You should be talking about that with your next of kin. Who's going to handle your arrangements when you're gone? Is it a spouse? Is it a daughter or a son? Let them know if you haven't done the pre-need. Where is that DD-214? What funeral home do you want? What do you want to be? Do you want to be a casket or cremains? Those are important questions that you should have.
I'm embarrassed to say my first time up on the grounds was actually just this past winter. My daughter with the National Honor Society from Mechanicville Junior Senior High School went up and took part in wreaths across America.
Awesome.
And what an experience!
Awesome, yeah.
Yes.
And it's gorgeous once they're all laid out
Yep.
and the snow's on the ground. It really is something.
I get goosebumps just hearing about it.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps just listening to this.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back here more with Scott Lamb from Saratoga National Cemetery here on Service and Sacrifice right after this. Welcome back to Service and Sacrifice this week with our special guest, Scott Lamb, Director of Saratoga National Cemetery. So, Scott, give us a little bit of the history of the cemetery itself. I was actually surprised to learn how new it actually is. It came into existence back in 99. Is that correct?
That's correct. So when you think about cemeteries, rather young, right? Young cemetery, established back then. We have to thank former Congressman Jerry Solomon for that. He was advocate to get the cemetery in this location. Actually, most folks don't know this was supposed to go to the Utica Rome area, but from Queensbury, Congressman Solomon really pushed and advocated to get this cemetery in its current location.
And that brings me to my next question, because his name is now on there, but it wasn't initially, correct? When did his name actually?
I believe that was in 2001, shortly after his death. The cemetery is renamed in honoring him. Honestly, the only national cemetery named after a U.S. congressman. All the rest are presidents.
Oh,
so
it's
an honor to him.
Unique, too. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So how large is the cemetery itself, acreage-wise, and what's it like taking care of it?
Great question. So 350 acres. We currently maintain 100 acres. So for veterans out there, plenty of space to grow and move on. Maintenance, very difficult, believe it or not. I mean, I'm thinking of my staff today and the heat today, what they're going to be going through. But hardworking crew, you've got Mother Nature is always going to be your biggest challenge with winters and summers. We've got you spend money on the turf, make sure it's green and healthy. And just the upkeep of headstones and the interment. We do roughly 1,300 interments a year, so you're busy almost every day. You're averaging 5 or 6 interments a day. So steady.
I didn't realize there was that many a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yep.
And recently, you guys had the honor of taking in remains of some Civil War soldiers. correct?
The civil well,
Or was that a few years ago? But it was recently, right?
It was actually quite a few years ago
that
for
was
the
right.
Civil War. Yeah, unknown Civil War soldier. That's okay. Maybe what we might be thinking of is our World War II veteran that just
Yes.
came home. He was repatriated.
Right.
His remains were found, identified, and he finally came home. Yeah,
And it's
lieutenant.
that's got to be quite an honor to be able to take care
Yeah,
of
what
that.
an
right?
honor
That's-
to
yeah.
help put closure to something like that. He's been missing for over 80 plus years, and to be able to come home and his nieces and nephews. That's it. That's all left of his family. Second Lieutenant Joseph Burke. Yeah, well, what an honor to get him home and to his final resting place.
And it's a big year, 250th birthday of these United States. This area of the country, Saratoga in particular, the Revolutionary War history is so rich and so indelible that's got to be something that's really unique to this cemetery as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're right just down the road from the battlefield, very famous battlefield, the turning point of the Revolutionary War. We do have a few what we call memorial headstones recognizing Revolutionary War veterans from that era. Rich history here. What a great place to put a national cemetery and to continue, celebrating 250, right?
Yeah.
And those men and women that lay peacefully in those hallowed grounds. What a way to honor them.
What are some of the event? Are there annual events that you guys regularly participate in, Scott? And what are those? And if people are looking to get involved, how do they find out
Absolutely.
more?
So we'll start with Memorial Day. That seems to be the first that folks think of. We place flags that Saturday before Memorial Day, and then we have a small ceremony, which is usually pretty well attended. And then we'll talk about Veterans Day because that's recognized. We recognize our living veterans on Veteran Days, but also honor those that are interred at the cemetery. And then you mentioned Wreaths Across America by far has become our largest event participation locally, where wreaths are donated and every gravesite receives a wreath, which is absolutely amazing and that's from volunteer donations. That's from volunteers that come out to place the wreaths, to pick them up. What a great community we have around us.
And the volunteer effort, again, I did it for the first time this past winter. Thought I was getting there on time, but man, the line of cars on the way in and the number of people that actually turn out for that is just so impressive.
Yeah, well attended, and we tell folks arrive early just because it's so well attended.
And wear your boots.
Wear your boots.
Especially when there's snow on the ground. There's a lot of snow on the ground this winter. As we're wrapping up the summer season here, we're coming through the 4th. Is there any sort of lull time for you guys there at the cemetery, or is it kind of...
So I would say we're at our peak right now.
Yeah.
Starts Memorial Day, June and July. What we have is we call the snowbirds. These are the folks that have moved out of state. Their loved one has passed away. The family is now bringing those cremains up to complete interment. So this is a very, very busy time of year, plus you're preparing for Memorial Day and the 4th and all that. Our lull is probably in the winter, November, December, January. The grounds maintenance slows.
A little bit, but still with that many internments a day, there really is no downtime.
Yeah,
for you
and we
guys.
don't stop. We're still putting headstones in the middle of winter, still opening grave sites. You have to. So it's an endless job, but it's a rewarding job.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yep.
And I can't thank you enough again for your service, Scott, and what you do now, your role there at the cemetery. Again, it's beautiful. I encourage anybody that's watching, listening right now, if you've never been, pay to visit. It is worth the trip, believe me. Scott Lamb, Director of the Saratoga National Cemetery. Scott, thanks so much for coming in this week.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the invitation.
You got it. Anytime. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Back one last time here on Service and Sacrifice on WTEN+. Welcome back to Service and Sacrifice. Just wrapped up with our guest today, Scott Lamb, once again, the director of the Saratoga National Cemetery. Wonderful human being.
Really cool.
We have some very cool people come in here every week. So just another one to add to the list. But it was incredible when I learned how many internments They actually average a day there between 5 and 6. He said it's just
1,300
incredible.
a year,
Yeah.
It's incredible. One of the things that I wanted to mention during that second and third segment is you guys brought up how unique Saratoga National Cemetery
Sure.
is. And one of the big things that is very unique with Saratoga National Cemetery are the volunteers there. So you have one is the the Saratoga Ladies. The Saratoga Ladies are a wonderful group of women. A lot of them lost their spouses who were veterans, or their parents were veterans, or their sons and daughters. But what they're designed to do is they are there towards the end of the interment service. They offer their condolences, I believe a coin or a pin, and they're just there as a peaceful presence. And another volunteer organization there is the Saratoga National Honor Guards. And what many don't know is when you pass away as a service member, you're required to have a 2-man flag folding team, playing of taps with a bugle, and the presentation of the colors. That is it by minimum. Now at Saratoga National, you get the full honors, right? You get the rifle salute, you get the presentation of the colors. Sometimes you get a color guard, you get the Saratoga Ladies, you get the honor guard, you get the flag fold. It's amazing. That is unique. You don't get that at every national cemetery. In a Saratoga National Cemetery,
Right.
Those are things you receive as a veteran.
And I think we heard at the end there, unfortunately, it didn't get included in the actual interview, but we heard Scott say there are over 140, 148, something like that, national cemeteries across country. And that full volunteer honor guard, Saratoga is only one of maybe 5 or 6, I think he said.
Yeah, that
so
have honor guards and Saratoga Ladies. And Saratoga Ladies are a few, but they're growing. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful community we live in. It's wonderful benefits that we have. Our veterans don't know about this. They need to know about this because, let's face it, it's morbid. We don't want to talk about it. And it's something that releases stress during a very stressful time for family members that are going through the loss of a loved one, specifically their veterans. So,
and to know that it's all been taken care of in advance too, right? I mean, that's a huge burden off a lot of people's shoulders.
and it's an honor for us to be buried alongside our brothers and sisters.
I can imagine.
That is an honor, So,
And Emil, I know you're one of the biggest advocates for our veterans not knowing what is available to them and how to take advantage of it and take advantage of it sooner rather than later. And this is one of those things.
Exactly. This really is going to help not only the veteran with that internment, but it's going to help the family and their spouses. As families and spouses get older, it's very, very important they're not burdened or have to figure this out at a old age. So by doing it now, you're aiding them with the whole process and taking the pressure off them and getting exactly what you want when you plan this. So all important that people now see it, understand it, and act on it as soon as they can.
go visit it. Go visit the cemetery. It's so pretty. If you're a veteran, you haven't been there, your husband and wife served and you haven't been there, go visit it. So it's absolutely gorgeous. It's, I think, just like a couple miles away from the actual battle site too, which is really impressive. But it's so pretty.
I drove in there the first time and I said, wow.
Yeah.
It's so big and so diverse and so nice.
Yeah.
And how it's landscaped and on the hill and the view, it's phenomenal. And like I said, I was embarrassed to say I'd only been there for the first time this past winter. Really need to make a trip there. I would think in the fall is really
Well, don't make it the last
gorgeous,
time you visit it.
Oh, no. We're going back. I want to go back and volunteer again with Police Across America because that was just that was something to see. It really was. We can't thank Scott Lamb enough for joining us. Invitation's always open, Scott, as it is to all our guests here on Service and Sacrifice. We do thank you for watching. Remember, WTEN Plus, the streaming app, where you can see us. That's where it debuts each week Friday. We've actually been bumped, fellas. We used to air at 10 a.m. We now air at 11:30. 11:30 on WTN Plus on Friday mornings. If you use Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire, go into the App Store on any one of those platforms. Download WTN Plus for free and watch us. Always gets posted to our YouTube channel as well. And I post a link to that on Facebook every week when it's up and live. We do thank you for watching. That's going to do it for this week here on Service and Sacrifice. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. We'll see you next week.